Good evening. Welcome to the focal point for tonight's concert with Jim and Susie Malcolm.
Thank you very much, Wayne. While Jim puts his guitar on, I shall just say a few words. Jim has been touring in the States for 20 years or so, and I've been at home looking after the children. Someone had to do it, and a touring musician can't play that role. So anyway, they are now at the stage where they really don't care where we are.
Nah.
And I'd like to show you how I feel about that with a gesture rather than words.
Hey, yes.
It is so cool to be here, and thank you very much.
Yes, folks, we've been in the States for over a month, and usually after a month on my own, I am in bits with homesickness. But Susie and I are got terribly homesick. We're sick of home. Been stuck there for 2.5 years, so it's wonderful to get back, especially to the Midwest. It's just fantastic to be here in this very, very sort of special place with all these wonderful old photographs of all these amazing people that have played here over the years, including a whole bunch of Scottish people that we know.
Yeah, some of our pals are on the wall.
We saw you in St. Louis. We're going to start off with a song called Pad the Road, and pad the road as in with your feet. We've been padding the road courtesy of a rental car from Avis, but it's kind of the same thing. Now, it's from the travelling families. Scotland had this community of travelling families who used to sort of do all the work in sort of times of all hands on deck, like when the harvest or the planting or when the herring fishing was sort of on the coast. And these were families who were very, very musical and wrote lots of great songs that have really deeply enriched our culture in Scotland. They tend to have the same plot, though, and it's a young man enticing a young lady out for a life on the road, a bit like me with Susie. And the plot is the same. Come with me, my dear, and we'll live on love alone, and we'll sleep underneath the stars. And the ditches are surprisingly comfortable at this time of year. They really are. Says I'm a dearest Molly, come let us fix the time. Fin ye and I get married, love and wedlock has combined. Fin ye and I get married, love, right happy we will be. For you are the bonny lassie that's to pad the road with me.
To pad the road with you, sir, cold winter's coming on. Besides my aged parents, I've not a girl but one. Besides my aged parents, I've not a girl but me. So I'm no the bonny lassie that's to pad the road with thee.
Oh, never mind cold winter, love, the spring will follow on. Come sit you down beside me and I'll sing you a nice song. I'll sing you a nice song while I diddle you on the knee. For you are the bonny lassie that's to pad the road with me.
Well, the other lads that I had, they proved of cruel mind. They beat me and abused me and proved to be unkind. They beat me and abused me and guard me through the day. They interrogate my love to them to pad the road away.
Oh, lassie dear, this lassie, love, I'll never dare you wrang. It's on my honest fella's life, I swear I'll lay hand. I'll busk you fair and bonny, so you can bear the gree, as a bell no other country round to pad the road with me. So she has donned her hose and shin and ta'e the kirk again, and lang a morning a couple were made. shackles were set free. For she's a bonny lassie that's to.
She's a bonny lassie.
She's a bonny lassie that's to pad the road with me. Pad the road. Okay. Well, folks, we're going to do a song for you now called Lochenside. Lochen. Can you say Lochenside? Let's hear you. More phlegm. We need phlegm. Quickly, quickly. Mozzarella, cream cheese, half and half. All you've got now. Quickly, quickly. Lochenside, yes. Now, if you really want to impress me that you can do your Scottish, can you also roll your R's? Can you roll your R's? Oh, let's hear you roll your R's. Oh, there was a really, really sexy one over there. Yes, if you can say Lochenside and roll your R's, you're mostly there, mostly there. Don't worry, folks. Now, folks, Lochenside is a very famous bagpipe tune. It's always played before Scotland have an international soccer match, which is very uplifting. But then the match begins. We wait for the commentator to say those terrible words. Oh no, it's disaster for Scotland. Now, the most recent disaster for Scotland is that we have failed again to qualify for the upcoming Soccer World Cup finals next month, yeah. But you guys have qualified. But you don't care, do you? You don't care. Do you know how much that hurts? Come the winter, cold and dreary, brings a hawk down frae the high scree to the wind, was snowy hills high, hard in the Lochenside. Come the spring, the land lies weary, till the sun shines out so cheery, brings the bloom for our June's pride, hard in the Lochenside. Had you been yet to see the scatter, oh, the breezes o'er the Macan, when a boom, the tawny old lights, hard in the Lochenside. And the heron comes a-creeping through the rashes, green and dreeping to the pool, while away through its slide, hard in the Lochenside. If you ever hear reason to be hearing all the season, come and try the barley brewing by the fire on Lochenside. Summertime, the fish are loping, the bars in, the bunnies coping, swallows flee, the dawn to lean tight, hard in the Lochenside. By the autumn, the banks are winging, blaeberries are, the moors are hanging, salmon through the surging spade fight, hard in the Lochenside. Had you been yet to see the scatter, oh, the breezes o'er the Macan, when a boom, the tawny old lights, hard in the Lochenside. And the heron becomes a-creeping through the rashes, green and dreeping to the pool, while away through its slide, riverside. Have you ever heard an ocean to be welcomed with devotion? Travel home or on the ocean to be on a look inside. Lock inside. Thank you very much.
Now, I'm going to take the lead on the next song, and I'm going to sing a song about a subject that's very close to my heart, very important to me. And I was thinking about what the people of St. Louis might like to hear me sing about, and I thought, yeah, I know, just the thing. So this song is going to be all about gutting fish.
Well, hey. Woo.
Now, my great-grandmother was a professional fish gutter around the sort of end of the 1800s, early 1900s, and she could gut between 30 and 60 fish per minute. Woo! Now, and she was gutting herring. Now, the herring is a major industry in Scotland. And at the time that my grandmother was working, she would start her season's work in the springtime at the northernmost islands in Scotland and work her way south. As the fish moved south, the whole fishing industry moved, all the boats, all the gutting girls. And this song is a sort of come on girls kind of song. It's time to gather up your belongings and move south on the train towards the next harbour where the fish will be landed. And it has lots of words that you might not recognise. They're mostly place names. It's a kind of gathering up people from all around the country to gut the fish. After all, who wouldn't want to gut fish? Up in the morning with your bundles in your hand, be at the station early or you're surely here to stand. Pack plenty to eat and a kettle for your tea, or you'll maybe die of hunger on the way to Yarmouth Quay. The journey it's a long one, it takes a day or twa, and when you reach your lodgings, as soon to sleep you'll fall. But you'll rise at 5 with a sleep still in your ear. You don't want to find the garden years along the Yarmouth Quay. There's coopers there and curers there and buyers canny cheels and lassies at the pickling and others at the creels, and you'll wish the had been all left in the sea by the time you finish gutting herring on the Yarmouth Quay. It's early in the morning, it's late into the night. Your hands are cut and chop it and they look an unca sight, and you'll greedle like a wine when you put them in the drain, and you'll wish you were 1,000 miles off the Yarmouth Quay. Gutted fish in Lerwick and Stornoway and Shields, worked along the Humber amongst the barrels and the creels. Whitby, Grimsby, we've travelled up and down, but the place to see the herring is the quay at Yarmouth Town. The place to see the herring is the quay
Well, folks, I sang you Loch Inside, more phlegm. And that was a song based on a bagpipe tune. Now, the other kind of source of songs from Scotland is actually fiddle tunes. And we have lots of great fiddle tunes that have become songs. I'd like to do a fiddle tune written by one of Scotland's most celebrated and revered composers, Neil Gow. Now, Neil Gow was a contemporary of Robert Burns, and in fact, a friend of Robert Burns. And Robert Burns set several of his songs to the tunes that Neil had written, probably the most famous being Ye Banks and Braes of Bonnie Doon. Ye banks and braes o' Bonnie Doon, how can ye bloom sae fresh and fair? Was a Neil Gow tune, the Caledonian Hunt's Delight. So, yeah, that's what Robbie did. He found good tunes. He went, oh, I like that one, Neil. I'm going to pinch that one from you. Now, Neil Gow lived upstream on the River Tay. Now, the River Tay is the biggest river in Scotland. It's very hard to impress people in St. Louis with rivers. Yeah, it's not that easy. Anyway, the River Tay is the biggest river in Scotland. And we live in Perth. You've probably heard of the Perth in Australia. It's named after the one in Scotland, okay. The one in Australia is where we used to send our convicts back in the good old days. Yes, now Dunkeld is where Neil Gow lived. And there's in fact a tree, a wonderful old oak tree known as the Fiddle Tree. And it's a real kind of shrine for fiddlers who go there. I also go there because I'm a fisherman, fly fisherman. And I fish, that's one of my spots, the Fiddle Tree. It's not my best spot. I could tell you where that is, but then I'd have to kill you, okay? There was one night I was fishing at the Fiddle Tree, and this tune was running through my head, and it was kind of the gloaming, that wonderful twilight, late June, and the bells at the cathedral in Dunkeld started to chime, and it was in perfect time and perfect pitch to what was running through my head. And I really had this feeling that the ghost of Neil Gow was sitting behind me below the tree, criticising my fly casting. Now, the tune, a very, very popular tune, it's called Neil Gow's Lament on the Death of His Second Wife. Now, we're not sure about his first wife. She seems to have died quite literally unlamented, sadly. But his second wife, Maggie, died when she was in her early 70s, and this may have been his last composition, actually, Neil Gow. Ben my house in the nook where the bran is the Tay, among Burnham's great oaks on a long summer's day, while salmon lie still in water below. I will mind on your tune as I ticht in my bow, as the hair feels a string and the sound starts to swell. A peal softly rings frae the bell o' Dunkeld, and it brings harmony to the air that I play, that I wrote on the day you were taken away. All around me is beauty, bright bird song and plenty, a dram of good whiskey by a warm fire's glow. Scarlet fruit fill the gimlet tree, but nae joy comes to me, for you and me, Maggie, were fiddle and bow. Like the fish in the brine that are suddenly gone, when a shadow casts o'er their watery home, as the swallows whole flock all at once disappear, when they send summer's o'er and cold wind boats of a reel as they bound round the hall. They can't linger long and eventually fall. But the sail I have penned to remind me, my dear, though it can't match your grace, it will I be. All around me is beauty, bright bird song and plenty, a dram of good whiskey by a warm fire's glow. Scarlet fruit fill the gimlet tree, but nay joy comes to me, for you and me, Maggie, were fiddle and bow. Thank you. Fiddle and bow. Thank you very much.
Well, sticking with the 18th century, I'm now going to sing a Robert Burns song. And not one of his better known songs, but a song that we really enjoy singing. And it has a very unusual subject matter. The song is called The Plumen or The Ploughman, and it is a wife singing the praises of her husband.
Woohoo! A rare thing.
That is a very small genre of songs, I can tell you.
That's niche. That's very niche. Yes.
Now, bear in mind that this is written 250 years ago, and the wife of the ploughman says, her husband comes home after a day's work. He's wet and weary, and she says, "Oh, look at you, for goodness sake. Take off all those wet things, and you go on upstairs and put on dry things, and I'll be up there quite soon to cheer you up," he says. Now, the song does not say in what way she is going to cheer him up. It is a modest little song. She does say that she likes to clean for her husband and cook for him. It is a very old-fashioned song. And I would like you to know that things have changed in Scotland since this song. She says she's going to cheer her husband late in the day and early in the day, which by my calculation is twice. So we think that this song comes from fairly early in the marriage. He's a bonny lad, his mind is ever true, Joe. His garter's knit below his knee, his bonnet it is blue, Joe. Then up we Tom, my Plumen lad. Hey, my merry Plumen, of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the Plumen. The Plumen, he comes hame at e'en. He's often wet and weary, cast off the wheat, put on the dry, and go to bed, my dearie. Then up we Tom, my Plumen lad. Hey, my merry Plumen, of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the Plumen. And I will wash my Plumen's clays, I will dress his orley, I will mark my Plumen's bed and cheer him late and early. That's twice. Up we Tom, my Plumen lad. Hey, my man. The bonniest sight that e'er I saw was a Plumen laddie dancing, snow-white stockings on his legs, silver buckles glancing, a good blue bonnet on his head, and all but he was handsome. Then up went all my Plumen lad, hey, my merry Plumen, of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the Plumen. Commend me to the barnyard and the corn woman. I never gasped my coggy food till I met with the Plumen. Then up with all my Plumen lad, hey, my merry Plumen, of all the trades that I do ken, commend me to the Plumen.
Well, folks, I'd like to do a song that I wrote whilst I was travelling in the United States with a group called the Old Blind Dogs. Old Blind Dogs! And they're here tonight, folks. No, they're not. Actually, they're in Colorado. Now, folks, Old Blind Dogs, for those of you that have not had the chance to see them, Celtic rock band, bagpipes, fiddles, drums. Used to get people dancing all the time, still do. In California, the people used to dance like this. It's great, it's great. Now, folks, I toured with them for 8 years, and God, some things make a man of you, but some things make an old man of you. And touring with the Old Blind Dogs was the latter. The trouble was, everywhere we went, there was a posse of people we'd partied with on the previous trip, and they had all taken precautions. They'd had blood transfusions and days off work and stuff like that. So, by the end of the tour, we were absolutely exhausted, like sort of coffins at the airport. That's what it was like. It was really... Anyway, folks, this has happened. We landed in Boston to start a tour, and the first gig went well at a place called Johnny D's in Somerville, but then we were invited to a party by a group of students from the Berklee School of Music, and the boys grabbed their bagpipes and their fiddles and they were out the door, and I went, whoa, we've got a long drive we've got 7-hour drive tomorrow, Rochester, New York. Somebody's going to have to go to bed. And they went, Jim, thank you, bye-bye now. So I picked them up the next morning, and it was clear none of them had been near their bed. And they were also a bit tight-lipped and a bit sort of anxious looking. Turns out they'd almost been arrested for playing the bagpipes at 4 o'clock in the morning in a residential area. Anyway, they flopped into the van, and there was nothing but sort of like moaning and sighing, for the next few hours. As we drove through the classic New England fall. It was just at its absolute zenith, and I'd never seen anything like it in my life. Those maple trees, what a tree, the maple tree. You get syrup from it, that's for starters. And then you can make guitars and fiddles and stuff from it. And I mean, and the leaves, the Canadians have got their whole identity is based around it, What a tree, the maple tree. Anyway, folks, by the time we got to Rochester, New York, I had basically seen the most amazing sights and written the song in my head. The boys missed the lot. Dirty stop-outs serves them right. There you go. It's called Road to New York. Driving through New England in the fall, English names I've never seen before, wooden houses glint among the trees, like white horses on a golden sea, and the thruway gently weaves through bigger here than I have ever seen. Pumpkin lanterns draped as black and gold, like some Christmas time for darker souls. And the throughway gently weaves through an endless land of trees, and the road to New York leads through a billion turning leaves. So now every leaf will tumble down and leave a golden carpet on the ground. But I'll be home by then, and this will be just a memory to haunt my dreams. And the throughway gently weaves through an endless land of trees, and the road to New York leads through a billion turning leaves. The throughway gently weaves through an endless land of trees, and the road to New York leads through a billion turning leaves. Road to New York.
It's been a really lovely time to travel around in America, spotting the leaves turning. It's really beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to sing a song now written by Archie Fisher, one of Scotland's great songwriters. And Archie is 82 now, possibly 83, because I don't know when his birthday is. Still out there gigging. And we heard him a few months ago in concert, and he was terrific. But he was struggling with some dental issues that day, and he said, "I'm going to have to not sing any songs with S's in them." Anyway, so I'm going to sing his song "The Final Trawl" because I thought you might like to sing along with us. It's such a pleasure to sing with people again. The second and fourth line of every verse is the same, and I'll tell you what the words are. The second line goes, "Sing haul away, my laddie-o." And the fourth line is completely different. It goes, "And sing haul away, my laddie-o." So I hope that you'll join in as soon as you get it. Now, the song is about a fisherman's feelings for his boat as he brings it home for the last time. The boat is out of date and no one can make money from it anymore. But he says he doesn't want to take his boat to the breaker's yard where it will be torn apart and various parts sold off for scrap. He just wants to pull it to the water's edge and leave it there to sort of disintegrate over decades into the sea. And you do see that around Scotland's coastline sometimes. And these very, very slow-moving works of art become like old friends. You know, you turn the corner and there's the boat. And it really, really collapses extremely slowly. So that's what this fisherman is hoping for his boat. The song's called "The Final Trawl." Since
sing all the way, my laddie-o.
Then stow your gear, lads, and batten down. Sing all the way, my laddie-o. I'll take the wheel and I'll turn her round and sing all the way, my laddie-o. We'll join the venture and the morning star. Sing all the way, my laddie-o. Riding high and empty towards the bar and sing all the way, my laddie-o. For I'd rather beat her on the steady road. Sing all the way, my laddie-o, than to see her torched in the breaker's dock and sing all the way, my laddie-o. We'll mark the haven o' the fiddler's green. Sing all the way, my laddie-o, where the rum is good and the bunks are clean, and sing all the way, my laddie-o. And when I die, you can stow me down. Sing all the way, my laddie-o, in her rusty hold where the breakers pound, and sing all the way, my laddie-o. For I fished a lifetime, boy and man. Sing all the way, my laddie-o, and the final trawl scarcely makes a plan, and sing all the way, my laddie-o, and sing all the way, my laddie-o, and sing all the way, my laddie-o. Lovely singing, thank you.
Yeah. We're going to do one more song for you and have an intermission. Does that sound about right? Good, good. Well, folks, first time I ever experienced an American Halloween, my reaction was, whoa, because you guys really have sort of taken Halloween to the next level, really. It's very impressive. I'm particularly impressed by the fact it's not just the kids that dress up, it's all the grown-ups as well. And it's wonderful to see. My first experience actually was just before, I think, 2004 presidential election. And there was all these girls dressed up as Sarah Palin. Which I think was quite easy, because all you had to do was sort of pin your hair back and wear glasses and say, I can see Russia from my house. But I thought it was the fastest ascent to Halloween iconography in the history of the world, because no one had heard about her in September. You know, it's just really amazing. Now, folks, the one thing that I have to say that's different in Scotland, when the kids come to your door, they are actually expected to do something for their candy. They're expected to sing you a song, tell you a joke, do a little dance, give you sound financial advice, you know, something like that. You don't just get it. So another thing that Susie has discovered is what you're experiencing something, aren't you?
Yeah, there's something that I'd like to say. It's just that I knew when I left home for a 6-week tour, and not being a seasoned tourer like Jim, I knew that there were things would happen and things I would feel that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I've come upon an emotion which totally took me by surprise. And that is vegetable envy. You guys have got amazing vegetables. I cracked yesterday and bought a couple. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I mean, What am I going to do with this, for example? What is that? Is that animal or vegetable? It looks like a fish to me. Actually, it looks like it's going slightly slimy in my bag. And what about that? Is that a starter pumpkin for small people? Now, when Jim and I were young, we didn't have pumpkins. We had to go out into the field and pick a large turnip to
Big turnips,
carve
big
out.
ones. Yeah.
And, you know, you had to do that a week before Halloween. It had to be your hobby for the next week, trying to carve out I don't know if you've ever cut up a turnip, but they are hard. They are really hard. And, you know, the only way to do it really is to tuck it in here and go, get a sharp knife. You imagine what the mothers must have thought. And go, and then scoop out a tiny amount. So thank you for the pumpkin. By the time we were parents, pumpkins had arrived, and oh, the joys of carving a pumpkin compared to a turnip. You win the vegetables stakes.
This is a song called Halloween, folks, and it was actually written 100 years ago by a lady called Violet Jacob, a Scottish poet, and it's really about her son. Her son Lachlan was killed in 1915 on Halloween on the Western Front in Belgium. And Halloween has always been about getting in touch with those who have passed away. You know, that sort of moment where you can sort of connect with them through the ether. That's the whole point of Halloween. Now, it's a description of Halloween on a farm, you know, 100 years ago in Scotland. And the language is quite difficult, but there is one thing that might poke out, and they talk about bobbing for apples or ducking for apples, which I think is what you guys do as well. Yeah. Who last ducked for an apple? When was the last?
It's been a while.
Been a while, yes. This is called Halloween. Tatty liftings nearly through the Plumen where the barley grew, and after dark and elk is stark, you'll hear the horsemen stand and crack. Oh, Lachlan, but I mind on you. I mind full often we hae seen 10,000 stars kicking atween the naked branches, and below both farm and bothy hae their show. Hello, it looks so Halloween. There's bands with geysers at their tail, clearing the doors with so kale, and fine you'll hear the screeching skulls of lassies with the cricket cuddles, bobbing for apples in the pail. The Buffy fighters loughing hate, the new heat horseman's kiss is set. Lift all the long way by the blaze, the audience stood there, kept your place. I can't afford to see it yet. But gin the old folks' tales are recht, and guests flee home on Hallows Nacht. Oh friends, what would I give to feel your axe, your hand take me between the dark and the calm? in France across the wave, the wheel spun on Ilka grave, and you and me there low seen, you'll maybe hear Halloween, yon warrior lying Waverley. Was drinking daft and sang and danced, and ploys and kisses get their chance. But Lachlan, man, the place I see is where the old kist used to be, and the licht so Halloween in France. Thank you. Halloween. So much. Thank you. And now we're having a break. Are we? Yes? Right. Okay.
Well, welcome back to the second half. Again, I'll make this short and sweet as I can. We got to get back to the main show, so put your hands together for Jim and Susie Malcolm from Perth, Scotland, for the second half.
My goodness, there's a lot going on around here. You all must have to get up early in the morning so that you can get everything done. I forgot to tell you before the break that we have a special offer on CDs at the moment, and you can choose any CD, and if you don't like it, you can send it back to us, and we'll send you one that we don't like.
Got loads of them. Right, folks, we're going to start off with a song that I have had the pleasure of singing twice for the King. The King. We've got a king now. Did you notice that? Yes, the dear Queen passed away. Our entire lives have been under Her Majesty, Elizabeth II, but she passed away 2 days after sort of doing a job. She was there letting the new Prime Minister kiss her hand. That was, that's work. That's royal work, guys. It is. It's a job. You've got to be on the game for that. So sadly she passed away, and we all great respect for the Queen. She really was an incredible character and an incredible public servant, really, above all. But the new King, Charles, it just so happens that his favourite Scottish band was the Old Blind Dogs. And he used to invite us to the Palace in Edinburgh, Holyrood Palace. More haunted than Hogwarts, it was, I'm telling you. And we used to play for all these dignitaries there. And it was during the period where he and Camilla were an item, but not officially. So they sat at separate tables. And they looked at each other like this across the room. And now Prince Charles always wanted us to sing a particular song. It's called A Man's a Man for All That. And it says, it's pretty hard on the monarchy. It says, a prince can make a belted knight, a marquis, duke, and all that, but an honest man's above his might. Good faith, you munna fa that. But he used to come up to us and say, come on, lads, play A Man's a Man for All That. It keeps us aristocrats in our place. And we'd go, yes, my liege. But actually, the song I'm going to sing is one that I've sung for him a couple of times. It's called The Battle of Waterloo. This is a song that I wrote around an old bagpipe tune. It's not a very happy song, folks. People say, why is the music of Scotland so miserable, Jim? And I say, have you been there? It's about a young man who dies after the battle. His life's draining away, spirals downhill into a puddle of blood. But please try and enjoy yourselves, folks. It's very important. And of course, Battle of Waterloo was where Napoleon met his Waterloo. What a coincidence, folks. Really amazing. Who'd have thunk?
Take it, all the world's in bloom. Winter is forgiven now, fooled by April's bloom. Kitty, oh kitty, you and I might hang till Napoleon's bloody cannon hit Derry. Jeannie, oh Jeannie, I am surely done, stricken down in battle at the Mouthorgan's guns. Jeannie, oh Jeannie, I say dear to me, let me hold you in my mind for I dee. For the cold turns in autumn when the wind rakes the trees, and the summer lies forgotten in the cold bed of leaves. As winter begins, I'm bonny. It wasn't only you who was broken on the fields of Waterloo. Surgeon, oh surgeon, leave me to my pain. Say goodnight for others who will surely rise again. Surgeon, oh surgeon, leave my blood to pour. Let it drain into the bitter clay once more. For the cold turns in autumn when the wind rakes the trees, and the summer lies forgotten in a cold bed of leaves. As winter begins, I'm bonny. It wasn't only you who was broken on the fields of Waterloo. Daughter, oh daughter, listen dear to me. Never wed a soldier or a widow you will be. Daughter, oh daughter, curse your lad to die, and he catches the recruit's engines eye. For the cold turns in autumn when the wind rakes the trees, and the summer lies forgotten in a cold bed of leaves. As winter begins, I'm bonny. It wasn't only you who was broken on the fields of Waterloo. Bonny, oh bonny, what was I your game? Bloody field your table, cannon yours to aim. Bonny, oh bonny, we high live the same. Drilling laddies not to fear the musket's flame. For the cold returns in autumn when the wind rakes the trees, and the summer lies forgotten in a cold bed of leaves. As winter begins, I'm bonny. It wasn't only you who was broken on the fields of Waterloo. Thank you. Have the Waterloo.
We're going to sing a traditional Scottish song now called Bra Sailing, and the words of the chorus go, "It's bra sailing, or it's great to be sailing on the sea when wind and weather's fair, but it's better to be in my love's arms. Oh, how I wish I was there." Or in Scots, "Oh, gin I were there." Now, the story of this song is that a young sailor is told that he has to go back to sea the next day, and so he runs round to his girlfriend's house, but she rather cruelly is not willing to let him in, and he's disappointed about that. But magnanimously, he brings out a ring and says, "Even if you don't want me anymore, I'd like you to have this ring and just think well of me." Now, I don't know if it was because the ring was really lovely, or she just appreciated the gesture so much, but this changes her mind. And not to say she's shallow or anything. I mean, I haven't seen the ring, but she gives him a token in return. So this is a Scottish traditional song with a happy ending. Hey!
Enjoy it. It's the last one. Gets miserable after this.
There come a letter yesterday. The shipman sailed the morn.
Alas, cried the bonniest lass, that ever I was born, and it's broad sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better to be in my love's arms, oh, gin that I were there.
He's come to our father's house at 12 o'clock at noon.
The lassie being proud-headed, she would not let him in, and it's broad sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better to be in my love's arms, oh, gin that I were there.
He's ta'en a ring frae his pocket, it cost him guineas 3, saying, "Tak ye that, my bonny lass, and I think we'll owe me." And it's broad sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better to be in my love's arms, oh, gin that I were there. And she's ta'en a ring frae her pocket, it costs her shillings 9, saying, "Tak ye that, my bonny lad, for I hae changed my mind, and it's broad sailing on the sea, when wind and weather's fair. It's better to be in my love's arms, oh, gin that I were there." And better to be in my love's arms. Oh, again that I were there.
Thank you very much. Sticking with the nautical theme, sing a song about the worst experience of my entire life. I was camping in the Outer Hebrides, which is a line of islands way to the west of Scotland, right out in the Atlantic. And the weather, it was horizontal driving rain, gale force winds, hailstones the size of golf balls, plagues of locusts. Typical summer's day out there, really, actually. And my tent was like knocked down by the wind, so it forced me to do the courageous thing. I went and I cowered in the pub, trying to get the locals to put me up for the night. No joy there. But I had a secret weapon. I whipped out my guitar and I started to sing, I've been a wild rover far. Instantly, I was a trio. Because these two guys were either side of me, huge guys, great big fishermen straight off a boat with massive, great big beards with live crabs crawling about in their beards. And we sang and we sang and we sang, Whiskey in the Jar and the Irish Rover and all these Flower of Scotland. And then they proceeded to ply me with the largest quantity of cheap whiskey I've ever been stupid enough to drink. And I must have said, I'll come fishing with you tomorrow. It'll be brilliant out in the sea. Because I woke up the next morning in the middle of the ocean. And the boat was going... And I had the worst hangover of my entire life, or of any of the lives of any of my ancestors. It was a pinnacle for the Malcolms. And the boat stank of putrefying shellfish, because they were dredging for scallops, which means you drag this big steel bag along the bottom of the ocean to get the scallops, and it kills everything. It's terribly destructive. And the motion goes zugga, 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 and the diesel fumes and the putrefying shellfish zugga, zugga, threw up everything I had eaten for the last 5 years. Everything. I was hollow. I was hollow. My organs were flopping about on the deck. Hell. I have been to hell. That was hell. That really was hell. But it did inspire me to write this little song, which I'll sing for you now, even though it makes me feel ill. But I'll suffer from my art. I'm not going to cut off my ear like Van Gogh, but I'll suffer a wee bit, okay? Yeah, the terrible way that these guys are fishing really inspired me. This is about the oceans, folks. We must look after the oceans. I hope you're all doing your thing here. Neptune, I think I'm in love with the sea. How do I woo you and make you love me? I'm drenched by your passion, enthralled by your anger, become by your beauty. How do I make you love me? But then he spoke, it was a plea, not a road. If you want my love, then go and tell them all. Don't oil my beaches, don't slaughter my whales, don't cross me with diesel, cross me with sail. Give me some time to heal up my wounds. Give me more poison and I will die soon. Neptune, I don't understand what you feel. Here around my islands the waters are clear. I live from your ridges, your birds and your fishes. I never would choke you. What do you need?
Then he spoke of all the change caused by me. Your damage seems small, but let me recall that in your grandfather's day there ran salmon. You could walk on their backs. Now it's left of great shoals, oh, that slip through the cracks. Now the salmon's in cages, gorged on fish meal, sucked from some other sea by cruel properties. So don't oil my beaches, don't slaughter my whales, don't cross me with diesel, cross me with sail. Give me some time to heal up my wounds, give me more poison and I will die soon.
Right, I'm going to sing a song now on my own, written by Corinne Polwart, of whom I am a big fan. She is a singer-songwriter in Scotland, and she's written really lots of beautiful songs, but I'm not going to sing any of those. I'm going to sing a quirky little song she wrote, which I really like, called John C. Clarke. And the reason I like this song is that I find it quite a romantic song, but on a sort of believable level, the sort of romance that any normal person might experience in their life, rather than the hopelessly unachievable romance that we get fed from Hollywood, etc. Of course, maybe that's just how I see it, the Hollywood romance, because I come from Scotland, but maybe here the men are really romantic. Would that be right? Yeah. There was once a man in Scotland who loved his wife so much he nearly told her. So, John C. Clarke. John C. Clarke is a really nice man. He works in gas installation, and he drives a gas installation van. He fills it up at the local gas station, and you know I never saw him with a woman before. The women round here think they're worth a lot more. He's the kind of man your mother would adore, and that's no recommendation. Now, John C. Clarke ain't too good looking. I guess he looks like a gas installer. And for all that gas, he still ain't cooking. Yeah, he could do it being 6 inches taller. But then I ain't no pretty picture myself. Been sitting around here too long on the shelf. And I could dream about being with somebody else. But he could be a whole lot smaller. Now, John C. Clarke has a crush on me. He told me so one Sunday. And since I had no other offers, I agreed to meet him on the Monday. And the big surprise is that we really got on. We talked about all kinds of weird things till dawn. I plucked up the courage and said, "Hey, John, would you meet me again on Friday?" So we met at the pizza parlour in town. By then my belly was warming, and while we were waiting on the tiramisu, I kissed him without warning. I said, "I'm not getting any younger, you know. Would you like to give it a go?" He replied, "I guess so." and I packed my things in the morning. Now me and John, we live together. We have a house that's full of laughter. We've got gas central heating, our bellies are warm, and John's insulated the rafters. And you know we really like each other a lot. For all the gas, we'll never be hot, but we're making the best of what we've got. We're living happily ever after. And you know we really like each other a lot. For all the gas, we may never be hot, but we're making the best of what we've got. We're living happily ever after. Thank you.
John C. Clarke. Now, folks, we're going to do a song from Argyll. Can you say Argyll? It's where Scottish pirates come from, Argyll. It's also where the diamond patterned socks roam free. Now, Argyll is a very mountainous county, lots of islands, and also fjords, or sea lochs, as we call them. And the most prominent one is called Loch Fyne. And the town at the head of Loch Fyne is called Inverary. And this is where the song comes from. And it is about a beautiful young travelling girl. I was telling you about the travelling families who so enriched our culture with their songs. Now, she is worshipped from afar by this young man, but she has nothing to do with him. She's not interested in him at all. It is a song of unrequited love, of which there are many in Scotland. And the theory is that is what has suppressed our population over the years. All these young men demoralised by our songs of unrequited love. Makes sense to me. Anyway, folks, this song is called Traveller's Joy. And Traveller's Joy is actually the name of a plant, a member of the clematis family. And in the old days, the travellers used to put it in their shoes, and it soothed their weary feet. Yeah, now, folks, we've tried this, and we think shawl gel soles are much better. Yeah. The clematis just makes a bit of a mess of your socks, really, to be honest. But yeah, stick with the shawl. We're not sponsored by Shawl in any way, folks, I have to say.
Sunshine to the sheer. She gans me bra in her apron, then they now again. Her hands say rough, we weary walk, the mere face in trances. White blooms the April thorn upon its blackened branches. It's will you bundle and will you go, and are ye wanting leave me? It's will twines in yon brown hedge grows sweet for the wayfarer. But I would need give my trebles joy for the rose of Enverera. With downcast eye she'll pass us by, whether to look for honey. As autumn grows, the mountain rose as bleak and dour and bonny. It's will you bundle and will you go, and are ye what to leave me? It's will you bundle and will you go up the she and we me? I ken the lass, she has nae head, I ways the wall to leave us. She's gane off through the mountain range, nae mair she says she'll see us. It's will you bundle and will you go, and are ye want to leave me? It's will you bundle and will you go up the she and we me?
Thank you. Traveller's joy. Thank you. Very much.
All right, I'm going to sing a bothy ballad now from the northeast of Scotland. Now that sounds, anything that ends with ballad, you think, oh, it's going to be a long, slow song, but not at all. The bothy ballads are a different kettle of fish. The bothy is a sort of humble dwelling on a farm where all the unmarried men would bunk together. And on those long winter evenings when the work was done, there was a lot of jollity and fun in the bothy and a lot of singing. And my dad was an only child living on a farm with two intellectual parents. And as a young boy, he found their chat rather dull and preferred to go out to the bothy and have fun singing songs with the bothy lads. And so he learned lots of them and he taught them to me. Now, I was quite interested to hear about the Scottish Games. The Scottish Highland Games, we call them in Scotland, were a big part of my life because my dad was a heavyweight athlete on the Highland Games circuit. And that meant that every Saturday and several Sundays during the summer, we would go on very long journeys so that he could compete in the Highland Games. Now, I am the youngest of 4 children, and my oldest sister was 4 when I was born. So basically, my parents had a child every year until they worked out what was bringing this plague upon their house. And that meant that on these very long journeys, there were 4 of us, all about the same age, squabbling in the back seat. And my dad had a few techniques for dealing with this. One of them was the swinging arm of the law. We'd be driving along like this, and then when he lost his temper, I mean, he didn't mean to do it really, his great big heavyweight athlete arm would come round swiping like this, hoping to just hit anything in the back seat. 2 would be even better. And of course, we did our best to avoid it by going, like that. All fun and games. Now, that's illegal now in Scotland. But another of his much more acceptable methods of trying to control us was to sing bothy ballads to us. And so I learned lots of these songs through on Saturdays in summer. And I'm going to sing one of them to you. It's a song with quite a lot of energy in it, and it has a great chorus, so I do hope you'll sing along on the chorus. Now, it has 3 instrumental breaks, the way we sing it, and sometimes, you know, the joy of the bothy lads just sort of overtakes me, and sometimes I dance. So if that happens, I just want to say, don't worry about it. I will stay on the stage, and it'll all be over quite soon. So the song I'm going to sing you is called Guys o' Tuch, and that's the name of the farm that it came from. It was written in 1891, and it talks about a young man going to the farm and his first few days there and what he thinks of his horses. And at the end of the song, he gets a little bit gossipy about the woman that works in the kitchen. He says that when she goes to kirk or church, her head is above the level. And what that means is her nose is in the air because she thinks she's a wee bit better than everybody else. But if you see her teeth, they would scare the devil, he said. So this is Guys o' Tuch. I do hope you'll join in on the chorus. Coming by a ford and fought to get a fee. 'Twas there I met wi' Jamie Brune, and there we did agree. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, a-hi-dum-a-diddle, dum-a-hi-dum-day. So I agreed with Jamie Brune in the year o' 91 to ging him and ca' his second pair and be his orra man. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, when I get home to Guys o' Tuch, 'twas on an even clear. They out to put some orra who's the gaffer to appear. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, a-hi-dum-a-diddle, dum-a-hi-dum-day. He said, I'm the gaffer o' the place, and that's the mistress there. And if you want some bread and cheese, you surely get your share. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, a-hi-dum-a-diddle, dum-a-hi-dum-day. Then I could to the stable, my perry for to view, and begs they wear a dandy pair of chestnut and a blue. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, a-hi-dum-a-diddle, dum-a-hi-dum-a-day. Morning, I yoke it to the blue. Long, long, a lousy time, my perry gardener grew. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, a-hi-dum-a-diddle, dum-a-hi-dum-day. The blue she wasna working well, she wouldna throw the bar. The gaffer says there's a better in at the smithy taking for. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, a-hi-dum-a-diddle, dum-a-hi-dum-day. I got him the new blue, she pleased me unca weel, but I thought she would be better again she had a cutting wheel. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, a-hi-dum-a-diddle, dum-a-hi-dum-a-day. Hey, a muckle Bailey Wallace is his name. He can fare it up and out, fan he tricks doon the came. Dum-a-hi-dum-doo, a-hi-dum-day, a-hi-dum-a-diddle, dum-a-hi-dum-day. Well, hey, a gal
do. A hi dum day, hi dum a diddle dum, a hi dum day.
She gangs to kirk on Sunday, and he'd a been the level with twaddle a ivory that was scared the very devil.
Dum a hi dum do. A hi dum day, hi dum a diddle dum, a hi dum a day.
Bothy style. Now that's it, I know my song, I'll nae sing anymore. And if you've been offended, you can walk outside the door. Dum a hi dum do, a hi dum day, hi dum a diddle dum, a hi dum a day, dum a hi dum do, a hi dum day, hi dum a diddle dum, a hi dum a day. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should teach your children to learn instruments so that they can just play a nice thing in the instrumental parts instead of having to dance about like an idiot.
Right, folks. We're going to do something that you can sing along to again because we love to hear you singing. There's lovely voices out here in the Midwest. Like all that space you see to sort of go out and stand and sing in, you know. That's why you're all so good. Yeah, we're going to do a song called The Wild Mountain Time. And it's a song that actually is kind of more known as an Irish song. But it was actually based on a Scottish song written by Robert Tannahill called The Braes of Balquhidder. And the Braes of Balquhidder goes, will you go, lassie, go to the Braes of Balquhidder, where the blaeberries grow, among the bonny blooming heather, will you go? And it's the Strathspey, which is the one uniquely Scottish dance step. It's a slip step like that. And then somebody in Ireland kind of basically improved it, didn't it?
Yes, credit where it's due.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a really nice song, and it's one we just love to sing anywhere we go because it's just such a great chorus song. So please sing along. And around it I will pile all the wild flowers o'er the mountain. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to poor wild mountain thyme, all around the blue.
If my true love will not come, I will
Well, folks, that was our last song. That was, yes. But if there was, for some reason, you know, there was some kind of outburst of desire, yeah. Yeah, oh, standing up. Oh, we're not worthy. Thank you. That's what's called an induced encore. The thing is, with all this clobber I have on with the harmonica and all that, you just got to pull it all off and then walk off stage and then pull it. And it just, I'm getting too old for that shit, really, basically. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that, yeah. We'd like to finish off. Susie, you can tell us what we're going to do.
Yes, I will. But first, a quick thank you to Eric for lovely sound tonight. Yes. And thank you to Paul on video, and thank you to Jay for being my guy at Focal Point. Thank you. And to Spey, a special thank you to them who have paid our fee so that we can be part of a fundraiser for Focal Point. This is a really special place. Yeah. So glad you've made it through the pandemic. Hurrah. So we're going to finish with Auld Lang Syne. It is the traditional way to finish any Scottish event. It is a song about friendship and how important old friendships are. And I think you could extend that to how important spaces are in which friendship can be enjoyed.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a very special place, folks. We were really looking forward to getting here, and just the reverence with which you guys hold folk music, and but also in a very sort of humorous, kind of funny kind of way. It's a nice mixture of sort of academia and humour, you know. So I like that. Yeah, so it's very good. And
I know a lot of people drove a long way to be here this evening. We really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
So, Auld Lang Syne.
Big country out there, it really is. Yes, folks, we're going to start off with the original melody. Robert Burns held an old gentleman playing a beautiful fiddle tune in a bar in Kilmarnock, and he was concerned that the tune would just disappear when the old man expired, so he whipped out his quill and he noted down the notes, and then he wrote these words: "Should old acquaintance be forgot?" And then we'll burst into the version that you guys know at the end, which is the other version. Oh, sorry, I've got the wrong Muthi on as well. Yeah, let me just for the total effect. There you go. Here we go. But we've wondered, money's a weary fit. It's an Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my Jo. For Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet. For Auld Lang Syne, we twa hae paid all in the burn, frae morning
for Auld Lang Syne. So here's a hand, my trusty fear, and here's a hand o' thine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Let's hear you folks. For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, for Auld Lang Syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang. One more time. For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, for Auld Lang Syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Happy New Year! Woo!
Thank you very much.